That strum felt good. Let me know when you're ready. You ready? What up, peeps? It's your boy here. Just making some chicken. We're doing a little bit of meal prepping. You check it out. We got the Tupperwares on deck. I personally like to use the glassware and nuke it up in the microwave.
So what's the next step of the process?
Alright, so you're going to come back over here. We're starting over.
We're starting.
So what we're going to do, so we got our cast iron pan. I already got it coated with chicken giblets and all sorts of just flavor just marinating up in there. So we're going to come over here. We're going to take our chicken. It's been marinating in some beer, olive oil, some seasonings, and some lemon juice, and some fresh raw garlic. So that's all just been sitting in the fridge for about an hour and a half. So we're going to take this. We're on medium-high heat. And we're just going to toss it right in the pan. So you should get a nice little sizzle right when you drop it in. I mean, when in doubt, I always go for more breast.
It's pretty original.
And we got our potatoes over here. So these are prepped ahead of time. It's just russet potatoes. You got some almond milk. A little bit of oil. I use safflower and some salt, pepper, and one egg. You want to temper the egg in. You got to whisk it up and toss it in there when it's hot. And some sour cream, blue cheese, and a little bit of Mexican Fiesta shredded cheese for the ladies. Oh shit! I forgot about these. So come check this out. We've got some veggies here in the oven. Carrots and zucchinis. Just doing whatever the f those things do. Ow, it's f***ing hot. It's juicy. It's white, no pink. It's muy perfecto.
What was that?
It's good. It's a learning process. That's just life. That's gonna happen. You know, sometimes you fall on your face and make some shitty chicken. Sometimes it comes out good.
So have you given thought to like what your fans are gonna be called?
Banger bangers. I'm starting to flip these guys, and notice how, look at the char on these two, and I just flipped that one, and I'm flipping this one now. So notice how these are charred up, that one's not. So what that tells us is this side is not receiving as much heat as this side. So we're going to take the most charred one, flip it to the back, and we're going to take this and flip it to the front. So we got some oven baked carrots and zucchinis. Pretty simple recipe. You literally just cut up the zucchinis and the carrots, salt, pepper, Italian seasoning, and oil, olive oil. That's it. That's all you got to do. 350, 25 minutes. Turn it off. You're done. If it sinks in too much, it's kind of, think of it as your hand. You know, if you're if it's kind of like this texture right here, it's still raw. But if you're getting like this texture, then you're good to go. You know that the meat, the flesh is cooked in there. And so we've got a nice good char on there. See that char? We got juice dripping. So I'm going to take that out. Check that out. So it's not pink at all. It's nice and cooked all the way through. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave these on here. We're going to turn our pan down. Turn it down to like medium-low. We're going to make some gravy. So we're going to deglaze this pan. Just take some red wine. Throw that in there. You want to take a wood. You don't want to use metal. You want to take wood and kind of start getting some of those drippings up. You know, and remember, you want this to be on low. because you don't want to reduce all the liquid out of it. You need that liquid. Now with chicken, you don't normally use red wine, but that's okay. We're getting a little dangerous today. I've got Liam I can never say this. Perens, Worcestershire.
Worcester. Worcester.
Put some butter down. Let that butter just kind of melt into the pan.
Wow.
Put some milk down. Sprinkle some flour in there, a little bit more. We're going to do a tiny bit of salt, and we take a rubber whisk, don't use wire, and just start kind of whisking this together. Now check this out. This is, the sauce is getting real nice and happy. And so this is kind of what you want. You don't want it to be bubbling too much, but you want it to be, warm and steamy, almost like like a low simmer. Check this out. So when you take your whisk and go like that, you'll see how it'll run back. It's like the river that Moses parted, the Red Sea. It smells French. It smells like Bordeaux and steak sauce. I didn't have them because somebody didn't do a good job at the grocery store today. But you want to put some shallots in there, cook those up, and then reduce your sauce with the shallots in. That's going to give it a really good sweetness. The sweet's going to cut some of the acidity that you're going to get from the wine, as well as some of the other acid. I don't know where this acid's coming from, but it's in there. Okay. So the reason you want to let the chicken sit is because if you cut into it right after you take it out of the pan, all that juice is just going to fly out of there. And you don't want that. You want the juice to, if you let it come up to room temperature, that juice is going to solidify in there. It's going to ingrain itself within the flesh of the chicken, and that's what you want. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut, just strips. There's no real, you don't have to be fancy with it. You're just cutting against the grain of the flesh, and you're just making some chicken strips here. Alright guys, welcome back. So we've got all our chicken is cut up. It's ready to be dispersed into our our meal prep containers. So we're going to start off with our potatoes that we made several minutes ago before we started our chicken. And I'm just going to take a spoon, and I'm going to spoon some potatoes onto each one. What I'm doing right now is I'm making little pockets in my potatoes. So we're just creating nice little pockets. You can just press the back of the spoon in and just kind of build the walls up. Monday afternoon, when all your coworkers are buying sandwiches from Schlotzsky's and spending their money on bullshit, you're going to be eating this shit. You're going to be enjoying life. We take our veggies, and since we don't have very many, we're just going to do a small amount for each one. We're now going to take chicken. We're going to put some chickens in there. You want to just kind of do basically a handful per meal. We're going to take a spoon. I'm going to use a metal spoon But if you do this in a cast iron, be very careful. You don't want to scrape it too hard. You're basically, you're tilting, and you see that gravy's all thickened out. You don't want to scrape it too hard. You're just kind of getting some on that spoon, and you're dolloping it right on those potatoes. Take your lids, throw them on there. Now you've got some good little meals prepped. These are probably about 700 calories per meal, probably a little bit more, about 700 to 800 calories per individual meal. You do the intermittent fasting, so don't eat until 12 o'clock. Have one of these, it's about 700 to 800 calories. And then don't have anything until dinner. Go home, eat dinner at about 7 or 8 o'clock. You're going to lose probably about 2 to 3 pounds a week. And if you just keep sticking on that, you're going to see the weight loss that you want. It's going to be consistent. And you're going to be eating some scrumptious food.